Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Dedecker. I'm the Manager of Communications and Media for the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency. Today, the SPSA will provide an update on the current wildfire and flooding situation that is impacting our communities. Feel free to record, cut clips, and quote today's call as needed. We are recording the call as well, and it will be available online later today on the SPSA YouTube channel and Facebook page. Joining us today are Dale Rocco, Director of Intelligence Services for the SPSA, Brian Chartrand, Executive Director of Land Operations for SPSA, Noel McAvanna, Director of PDAP for the SPSA, Leah Clark, Executive Director of Irrigation and Economic Development for the Water Safety Agency, Patrick Boyle, Communications and Client Services with WSA, Dan Palmer, Senior Communications Consultant for the Ministry of Highways, and Devin Pahalik, Director, Communications and Customer Service Branch, Ministry of Highways. Updates will be provided by the SPSA and the Ministry of Highways. After the updates, members of the media will have an opportunity to ask a question and one follow-up at a time. I will now provide a high-level update on the provincial wildfire and flooding situation, which has stabilized over the last few days. As of 11 a.m. today, there are 72 wildfires active in the province. 8 are contained, 9 are not contained, 46 are ongoing assessment, and 9 are protecting values. 15 fires started or reported in the last 7 days. 1 fire was declared out in the last 7 days. 113 fires to date have lightning confirmed as the cause. As for our major fires, we have the Border Fire, which is 12,116 hectares and is not contained. The Costigan Fire is listed as values protection and is 13,089 hectares. And the Curse Lake Fire is listed as not contained and is 9,926 hectares in size. The SPSA currently has 12 active declarations of local emergency for flooding. These include Kasikakous First Nation, the rural municipalities of Insinger, Meadow Lake, Redbury, Sliding Hills, Sassman, and Britannia, the town of Raymore, the villages of Pelly and Anaheim, and the resort villages of Leslie Beach and Chorney Beach. The SPSA remains in contact with each of these communities and is supporting multiple communities and rural areas with equipment resources, including pumps, hoses, and sandbags. SPSA's emergency services officers will continue to liaise with these communities being affected by flooding and will continue to assist as required. 9 Priority 1 residents from Cote First Nation remain evacuated due to flooding and are being supported by the community. Several highways and rural roads continue to be affected. Conditions can change rapidly and without notice, so we encourage everyone to stay cautious and check the highway hotline before traveling. With that, I'll turn it over to Dan Palmer of WSA for his remarks.
Thanks, Jeff. It's Dan Palmer with the Saskatchewan Ministry of Highways.
Oh,
that's
sorry,
okay.
Dan.
That's okay. We are dealing with water in the flooding sense. So as folks know, Saskatchewan's provincial highway network has faced some recent challenges due to weather and flooding. As we've mentioned previously when gathering in this format, water remains on some travel lanes of provincial highways. Other sections of provincial highways remain closed. Drivers, as always, are reminded to remain vigilant, follow all posted signs and directions from any flag persons, and adjust their driving to current road conditions. Motorists planning to travel, as we've heard, should check the highway hotline before departing, and when safe to do so during their trip for the latest road and travel information from Saskatchewan's Provincial Road Information Service. The hotline provides the latest available information on flood-related highway closures, travel restrictions, and other incidents affecting traffic. We thank motorists for their patience in understanding any time a highway is closed or service is reduced from its normal operation. So we do appreciate their patience and understanding. And as well, thank you to all our media for reporting about provincial highway traffic updates and letting the public know how recent flooding has affected travel. We appreciate you getting the word out. Ministry of Highways crews, my teammates out in the field, continue responding as needed to affected areas. They're working to safely restore or maintain service for highway traffic as conditions and circumstances allow, along with monitoring the provincial highway network and supporting public safety efforts as needed. As a snapshot, I'm just going to share something here on my screen here, if you just bear with me for a quick second. So if anybody can't see that, just maybe mention in the chat. What you're seeing is a temporary bridge we've put in place. It's Highway 49 west of Pelly. The ministry became aware of a culvert washed out around June 30th, which of course closed this portion of Highway 49. We secured a temporary bridge and deployed it in this area and reopened this segment of Highway 49 by July 3rd. Ministry engineers are determining what permanent repair is best for this portion of Highway 49. So here's one view of it. There's another, as you can see, vehicles going over it. Again, be aware of your road conditions as you're traveling, but again, service is restored there on a temporary basis. Meanwhile, here is a couple of photos of Highway 8 north of Kamsack. And the ministry became aware of a culvert washout around July 1st on this segment of highway, which of course closed the road. By July 2nd, the highway was reopened after we deployed one of the ministry's temporary bridges that it has in inventory. Again, the ministry is determining what a permanent repair is best for this portion of Highway 8. So I'll stop sharing, but I'll share some of those images in the chat here for folks. Anyway, here's a short traffic summary related to the flooding. This is for the east central area near the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border from about north of Hudson Bay to about south of Yorkton. As of now, and this can obviously change from time to time, just check the hotline regularly. That's why we remind you, as we have 4 closures on various sections of the provincial highway network in that area I indicated. And we have 10 locations where water is affecting driving lanes on provincial highways. So this is certainly better than it was previously, but there's obviously still some impact on the provincial highway network. That's my update, and thanks again, everyone, for being here.
Thanks, Dan. So that was Dan Palmer from the Ministry of Highways with an update. I'll now turn it over to the SPSA's Brian Chartrand.
Thanks, Jeff. I will also share my screen and provide a visual for everybody to see here. Some of our maps. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. So what we're looking at here is just a visual of our map of the SEIR 01 and the Gulag fires, which are located to the east of South End. If you can see my cursor, I'm over South End right now. So a little bit of information on these fires of note. Starting off with the Gulag, you see that it is labeled blue, which is a good thing. It is contained, and very little, if any, smokes are detected. So we're still monitoring that one as we are actioning the SEIR 01 just to the east. So right now we have the Gulag contained at 309 hectares. It is 11.5 kilometers away from South End. And the same distance for the SEIR 01 at this most northern western point on that fire. It's about 11.5 kilometers from South End as well. And it's sitting at 5,113 hectares in size. We've been engaging this the southwest and western portion of the fire to slow down and suppress the progression towards South End. You can see on the east side, you can see all these different colored dots. These are MODIS and thermal tracking imagery that we're looking at. So the colors, the darker the red, that's more how the most recent hotspots detected. And as it turns into orange and yellow, that's further back multiple days. So you can see that the west side is a lot more cooler, a lot of yellow, which is 5 to 6 days ago. So nothing since then's been detected. Whereas on the east side, you can still see some red. So it's a little warmer out there since we haven't putting as much resources on that side, just because there's no communities or infrastructure being threatened on that side as of right now. But we'll continue to move along and secure that fire as resources are available. Right now, no concerns at this time. I will, however, scroll just over to the west of it. We do have a new fire within the vicinity of South End as well. Right now, this Fleming fire is 30 hectares in size. It is 17 kilometers away from South End and about half a kilometer away from the Highway 905. We do have aircraft and personnel actioning this fire as we speak, hoping to get this contained and so it doesn't get any larger than it is, especially with the upcoming weather. Otherwise, I will just kind of zoom out and back into the Wollaston area on these fires here. So starting with the Curse Lake fire, it is at 9,926 hectares. Again, you don't see too much red or orange dots. A lot of it's yellow, so this fire is fairly inactive. We have been conducting backburn operations on the south and southwestern portions, just securing it into natural barriers and burning off some islands and fingers so that if we do get a northeast wind to push it southward towards Wollaston, which is right here by the 995 icon. So we have deprived the fire of its fuels and it is burning itself out. We do have staff crews on the ground securing those lines and making sure that it doesn't breach containment. That would go for the same. Oh, and sorry, I guess I should add that it is still 14.5 kilometers from Wollaston. Moving south to the red fire, you can see that it is a blue icon, which means it is contained. We don't expect any growth in this fire. It's approximately 13.5 kilometers from Wollaston. And on this one as well, we did conduct backburn operations on the northeast and north and northwest corners of this fire. Again, burning from natural barriers and rivers and lakes. And also there is a new road being put up there that we also used as a fuel break to burn from, and crews are re-securing that line. And again, minimal activity and things are progressing well on that fire. Otherwise, that's our fires of note. That's close to any communities or infrastructure. So I'll leave it there unless there's questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Before we get into questions, I would just like to remind everyone of the tools that are available for the public. For information on wildfire, please refer to the SPSA's interactive maps. Sask Alert, the highway hotline, and local online communication channels can also provide valuable information to help keep you safe. We will continue to monitor the situations and provide updates on our website and Facebook as conditions evolve. We will now open it up to questions from the media. Please use the raised hand function to indicate you have a question. You will then be recognized when it is your turn. Please remember to unmute yourself to ask your questions and to turn off your mic when you are finished. I would also ask that media members, before asking their question, please identify themselves and the media outlet which they are representing. If there are additional questions afterwards, please send them to the SPSA communication box. That's media.spsa@gov.sk.ca. This is the SPSA's main contact for all media. If there are any questions for the SPSA after today, that's the account they should be sent to. So now we can start the questions. Let's first go to Christopher.
All right, thanks, Chris Vandenbrekel with Global News. Brian, these ones are for you. First question, can you talk about what the differences have been in fighting the fires this year compared to this time last year?
Thank you. Good question. Essentially, we're not experiencing as many fires as last year, or even the size. But essentially, when these fires do get up and go, we are experiencing the same heat intensities and intensity in class. So we're looking at 4, 5s, and 6s. Recently, though, we did receive precip, and that did give us some reprieve and an opportunity to get some line put in. So definitely we're sitting better than this time last year. Conditions aren't as bad, but they are still pretty dry, and these fires are still presenting challenges for us. It just fortunately enough, we have been receiving reprieve here and there through whether it's just cloud cover, a little bit higher RHs, and we are expecting a little bit more precip here and there on some of these fires in the north as well. But again, conditions are a lot more favorable than the drought conditions we were experiencing last year. But again, still lots of hard work the guys are putting in, and lots of fire line out there still.
We have a special weather statement in for a lot of the province, including some fire-impacted areas for some very warm weather this weekend, but humid. Will that humidity help, or will the heat override that and make it a tough weekend?
Well, if the humidity is higher, it definitely helps. But I mean, if the wind conditions are there, if it gets windy, that will drive the fire. And again, hot and humid conditions makes it a difficult environment to work in as well. Lots of heavy lifting and rough terrain that our crews got to go through. So it's tough conditions, no matter which way you're looking at it. But humidity is nice, but if the temperatures and wind is there, it's not going to make too much of a difference, unfortunately. So,
thanks, Brian.
Christopher, we'll now go to Frzina.
Good afternoon. This is Frzina Declute from CTV News, Regina/Yorkton. And I have a question to Dan Palmer regarding the temporary bridge that's currently at Cody First Nation. And I was there on site yesterday, and band members told me that they are worried that this temporary bridge will be taken away to a place where there is a bigger need for it. And I would like to ask whether that is actually a possibility, that they would be cut off again from the rest of the world.
I'm not aware of anything of that nature.
Okay, thank you. And also following up on the same bridge, you mentioned that in your presentation that you guys put it up, but do you have possibly a timeline as to when they can see this portion of the road rebuilt?
I don't have a specific timeline, but typically speaking, permanent repairs are made after the water all recedes, things have dried up, engineers have a good assessment of what needs to be done. And so until those things occur, it's difficult to pinpoint a timeline when a permanent repair will be made. But it is a provincial highway. It will be eventually getting a permanent repair. I just don't have a specific timeline based on those two factors I mentioned.
I understand, but this is a very wet season currently. So are we looking at 2026 for the repairs, or perhaps next year?
I can't speak to a specific timeline. Again, we'll make an assessment after it dries up, and they can get a good sense of what needs to happen there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Frzina. And we will now go to Derek.
Hello, I have two questions. I'm looking for an update on the Egg Lake fire burning near Larange. And I also have another question just in regards to the number of tornado warnings that have been issued through Sask Alert so far this year. Is there a concern about alert fatigue and whether the effectiveness of the alert diminishes because there are so many that's been issued?
Let's start with answering your Egg Lake question. Brian, could you handle that, please?
Yeah. So what I can tell you on the Egg Lake fire right now, last reports are it's looking good. The flame has been knocked down. There is zero flame, so just some smokes kind of drifting away. So we will need to mop those up. But the Egg Lake fire is sitting at 37 hectares right now, which was caused by lightning. Let me just do a quick measurement of the distance, and it's 21.6 kilometers away from L'Orange to the southwest. So no, reports are looking good. It's still marked as not contained, but going by the reports coming in, this should be contained here momentarily. Thank you.
And Derek, as regarding that Sask Alert question that you asked, currently we don't have anyone on the call that can address that. However, I can reach out to someone after the media briefing and get back to you if that works for you.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, we've gone through the first session of questions. Anyone would like to ask another or a follow-up? And I'll take that. Oh, Jeremy, go ahead.
Hi there. Yeah, Jeremy Symes with the Canadian Press. Do any of you at all have an estimate yet on the cost for the flooding? Just because so many communities have applied for disaster assistance funding.
Noel, would you be able to take that?
For sure. It is certainly too early to give any sort of accurate estimate for the cost of flooding. Many communities have actively engaged the PDAP program, as you indicated, for assistance. However, we're currently in the assessment phase. Engineers, adjusters, and appraisers are attending communities and trying to enumerate those damages. It would be obviously the damages you need to identify, and highways also has assessments ongoing. We'll need to identify what the necessary repairs are before we can even begin to create an accurate estimate of what the cost of those repairs might be.
Okay, and then just to follow up, do you have a sense, or anyone else on the call, about if communities are still pumping out water, or have they been able to get the water out, essentially, at this point?
Now, who could we ask for that? I'm not sure if Noel would be the man, or maybe Dale. Is that something you might be able to address?
Yes, good afternoon. I can say that, in light of recent weather, obviously the water levels appear to be receding. However, there are still declarations of local emergency still in effect. So I can't say, I could say in broad strokes, but we're certainly not out of the woods yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. And just before I let everyone go, I'm putting some pictures from the Ministry of Highways into the chat in case there's a use for any of those. And there they go. With that, I thank you for attending today, and that concludes today's media briefing.
I think we got one other question.
Oh, do we? I didn't see. Oh, Chris, you stuck in at the end. Go ahead, Chris.
Thanks, Jeff. I wanted to ask, I don't know if Leah Clark or anybody from SPSA would know the answers to this, but with the swelling in the river, we've been hearing about an increase in water rescue calls along the river system. Do we have a provincial number on how many water rescues have been necessitated during these higher water levels?
Lee, would you be able to address that for Chris?
Sorry, Jeff, did you ask for me?
Well, he was asking if someone from WSA could address that, and
Yeah.
after that, we can maybe see if there's something from ARM we can help with as well.
Yeah. So all I can do is just kind of say, yeah, we're seeing some larger flows happen through a number of our systems, and but we're not really involved in any of those rescues, so I can't speak to that.
Okay. Thank you, Leah. Dale,
Jeff,
would you be aware
yeah,
of any?
I could just comment real briefly. We, as the SPSA, we have not been contacted or are aware of any specific water rescue. Certainly none that our agency has taken part in or has been requested of. So unless it's on a local level, but I'm not aware of those situations.
And Dan, I see you raised your hand. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, this isn't related to water rescues, but in terms of water levels, because lots of folks here in the media will ask. We will assess water levels and monitor it very closely to determine whether a ferry is safe to operate across our network. So we always remind folks to check the highway hotline for the status of ferries, but water level fluctuations do affect the vessel's operation, and we always want to ensure that the vessel is operating safely for our crews and passengers. So water levels can impact the opening and closure of ferries. I just thought I'd mention that, considering I often get asked about that when water levels are increasing across the rivers. Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. So just an FYI, there are 4 photos courtesy of the Ministry of Highways that are available for the media. Please, if you use them, please credit the ministry for those photos. And looking that there's no more questions, thank you again for participating. That concludes today's media briefing.